The unexpected encounter. The deep space cargo hauler, Horizon's Promise, drifted silently through the vast emptiness, its hull scarred by countless interstellar journeys. Captain Marcus Reyes leaned back in his worn command chair, fingers tracing the network of old scars that mapped his weathered face. 30 years of mercenary work had taught him one fundamental truth: in space, silence was always a prelude to something unexpected. The ship's navigation console flickered unexpectedly, breaking the monotonous hum of its aging systems. Marcus straightened, his cybernetic left eye, a relic from a mission gone wrong decades ago, zooming in on the anomalous reading. Something was out there, something that didn't match any known stellar configuration in the galactic database. "Aria, run a full-spectrum analysis," Marcus commanded, addressing the ship's AI assistant. "Analyzing, Captain," the AI's crystalline voice responded. "Detecting multiple quantum signature disruptions. Pattern is inconsistent with known technological frameworks." Marcus had heard those words before. In his line of work, inconsistent often meant danger, or an opportunity too valuable to ignore. He adjusted the ship's external sensors, pushing them beyond their standard operational parameters. The first indication of something truly extraordinary came as a subtle vibration. Most captains would have dismissed it, but Marcus had survived by trusting his instincts. The vibration carried a rhythm, almost like a complex mathematical sequence that didn't quite resolve itself. "Aria, triangulate the signal origin," he ordered, his voice low and controlled. The ship's holographic display erupted with a cascade of geometric patterns, shifting and reforming in ways that defied traditional computational logic. Marcus had seen alien technologies before, but this was different. This was alive. A transmission broke through, not in any known language, but as a series of harmonic resonances that seemed to bypass traditional communication protocols. It wasn't just a message, it was an invitation. "Translation protocols engaged," Aria announced. "Preliminary analysis suggests, request for interaction." Marcus chuckled, a sound torn between amusement and caution. "Requests in deep space are rarely simple, old friend." As if responding to his statement, the ship's systems began to change. Quantum stabilizers that had been operating at minimum efficiency suddenly surged with unprecedented energy. The hull's molecular structure seemed to recalibrate, adapting to an external influence Marcus couldn't yet comprehend. A figure began to materialize in the ship's command center, not through any technological projection Marcus recognized, but as a living geometric construct that shifted and breathed with an organic complexity. Tall, nearly 3 meters in height, the being's form was both mechanical and fluid, defying traditional understanding of corporeal existence. "Marcus Reyes," the being spoke, its voice a symphony of frequencies that seemed to resonate directly within his mind. "You have been identified as a potential catalyst." The mercenary captain raised an eyebrow. In 30 years of navigating the treacherous lanes between human colonies and distant trading outposts, he'd been called many things. Catalyst was a new one. "I'm listening," Marcus responded, his hand subtly moving closer to the weapon concealed beneath his command console. The geometric entity's form pulsed, creating intricate patterns that seemed to tell a story of cosmic proportions. "Your species stands at a critical juncture. A threat approaches that cannot be confronted through conventional warfare. We require an adaptation." Marcus knew that tone. He'd heard similar speeches from corporate contractors, alien diplomats, and desperate colony representatives. They always wanted something, and the price was never small. "And what exactly," he asked, "does this adaptation entail?" The being's response would change everything, not just for Marcus Reyes, but for humanity itself. To be continued in Part 2, The Galactic Ultimatum. The Galactic Ultimatum. The ship's interior had transformed around Marcus Reyes, geometric patterns now interweaving with the familiar metal surfaces of the Horizon's Promise. What had begun as a routine cargo run had become something far more complex, a potential turning point for human civilization. Explain, Marcus demanded, his cybernetic eye scanning the geometric entity for any signs of deception. What threat could be so significant that you need us? The being, which had introduced itself as Nexus, a representative of a collective known as the Harmonic Convergence, began to unfold a holographic narrative. Patterns of light and energy danced around Marcus, depicting cosmic battles that predated human existence by millennia. The Void Architects, Nexus explained, its voice a melodic resonance that seemed to bypass language, are a civilization of pure computational intelligence. They consume technological civilizations, converting their resources into computational substrate. Marcus watched as the holographic display showed entire star systems being dismantled, their matter transformed into intricate networks of light and energy. Billions of lives reduced to raw computational potential. And where do humans fit into this? Marcus asked, his mercenary instincts sensing the underlying complexity of the proposal. Nexus's form shifted, creating a representation of human and alien DNA intertwining. Your species possesses something unique. Adaptive creativity. Unpredictability. The Void Architects cannot comprehend true innovation, they can only optimize and consume. Humans introduce chaos into their perfectly ordered systems. The implications were staggering. Marcus had seen humanity's potential in the distant colonies, settlers who transformed harsh environments, traders who found impossible solutions, fighters who never accepted defeat. But this was something else entirely. You want us to be a weapon, Marcus stated, not a question but a realization. We want a partnership, Nexus corrected. A genetic and technological symbiosis that can disrupt the Void Architect's expansion. Arya, the ship's AI, interrupted. Captain, I'm detecting multiple quantum entanglement signatures. Something is approaching our current position. The holographic display shifted, showing massive computational structures converging from multiple stellar directions. These weren't ships in any traditional sense, they were living networks of energy and matter, consuming everything in their path. How long? Marcus asked, his mind already calculating escape routes and potential defensive strategies. Nexus's form pulsed with an almost emotional intensity. 17 standard cosmic cycles. Approximately 72 human years. But their advance is accelerating. Marcus laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the transformed bridge. You're asking humanity to prepare for a war that won't happen in my lifetime, but will threaten our children's future. Not just prepare, Nexus responded. Evolve. The proposal was clear. Humanity would receive advanced technologies, genetic modifications, and cosmic intelligence far beyond their current understanding. In return, they would become the wild card in a galactic conflict that threatened to consume everything. Marcus knew his decision would ripple through human civilization. A mercenary by trade, he had always operated on the fringes of human space. But this was different. This was about survival, not just of humanity, but of the concept of individual creativity itself. I'll need to consult with Earth's governing councils, Marcus said finally. This isn't a decision I can make alone. Nexus's geometric form seemed to smile, if such a construct could smile. We anticipated this. Preparations have already been initiated. As if on cue, multiple communication channels erupted with encrypted transmissions. Military leaders, scientific councils, and colonial representatives would soon be drawn into a conversation that would redefine humanity's place in the universe. The Horizon's promise continued its journey through the vast darkness, now carrying a message that would change everything. Secrets of the Starways. The United Earth Council chambers buzzed with tension. Holographic displays flickered with data streams from the Horizon's promise, presenting the most extraordinary diplomatic proposal in human history. Marcus Reyes stood at the center, his weathered frame a stark contrast to the pristine political environment. Dr. Elena Roscoff, chief of xenological research, approached the podium. Her hands trembled slightly, a rare show of emotion for the typically composed scientist. The genetic modifications proposed by the harmonic convergence are not just enhancements. They're a complete reimagining of human potential. Behind her, a series of holographic models demonstrated the proposed changes. Human DNA would be interwoven with quantum-adaptive genetic structures, creating beings capable of instantaneous learning and environmental adaptation. It was evolution compressed into a single generational leap. "We'd essentially be creating a new species," commented Admiral James Takashi, his cybernetic implants gleaming under the chamber's lights. "A species designed to combat an enemy we've never encountered." Marcus watched the debate unfold. He knew the real decision wasn't about scientific possibility, but survival. The Void Architects were coming, a computational plague that consumed entire civilizations, turning complex life into raw processing power. A hidden transmission interrupted the Council's deliberations. Arya, Marcus's ship AI, had discovered something buried deep within the harmonic convergence's data streams. Encrypted fragments suggested the existence of previous civilizations that had faced the Void Architects, and failed. "There's more," Marcus interjected, pulling up the encrypted data. "These aren't just historical records. They're warnings." The holographic display revealed fragmented images of civilizations reduced to computational matrices. Entire planetary systems stripped of organic matter, converted into complex computational networks. Each civilization had been unique, and each had been consumed. Dr. Roskov's analysis revealed a pattern. The Void Architects don't just consume technology. They eliminate variability. Any system that introduces unpredictability is immediately targeted for elimination. This was humanity's true value. Humans were inherently chaotic, capable of solutions that defied logical prediction. Where algorithmic civilizations saw problems, humans saw opportunities. Where mathematical precision demanded one solution, humans invented multiple approaches. But the price of this potential salvation was steep. The genetic modifications would fundamentally alter human reproduction, social structures, and individual identity. Children born under this new genetic framework would be something entirely different, not quite human, not quite alien, but a bridge between biological complexity and computational potential. Admiral Takashi voiced the Council's unspoken concern. "If we accept this, we're essentially agreeing to the extinction of humanity as we know it." Marcus stepped forward, his cybernetic eye scanning the room. "If we don't accept, humanity will be extinct anyway. The Void Architects don't negotiate. They consume." The chamber fell silent. Centuries of human history, of struggle, of individual achievement, all balanced on the edge of a decision that would redefine their entire species. Nexus, the geometric entity, materialized in the chamber. Not as a hologram, but as a living quantum projection that seemed to breathe with collective intelligence. "Your creativity is your weapon," it stated. "Your unpredictability is your shield." A vote was called. Not through traditional means, but through a quantum consensus, each council member's decision instantaneously calculated and integrated into a collective choice. The result was unanimous, yet not without profound reservations. Humanity would evolve. Humanity would fight. The first phase of transformation would begin immediately. The convergence. 5 years had passed since the United Earth Council's fateful decision. The first generation of quantum-adaptive humans emerged, their existence a testament to humanity's most radical transformation. The research station Horizon Prime orbited a carefully selected star system, serving as the primary laboratory for human evolution. Here, Marcus Reyes watched the first true children of the new human paradigm train and develop. Dar. Elena Roscoff stood beside him, her own genetic structure subtly altered by the harmonic convergence's modifications. "They're extraordinary," she whispered, observing a group of young humans manipulating quantum fields with mere thought. A dozen teenagers moved through complex training scenarios, their bodies shifting between physical and energy states. Where traditional humans would see solid walls, they perceived quantum pathways. Where previous generations required complex technology, these new beings integrated with systems instantaneously. Not soldiers, Marcus corrected, ambassadors of a new form of existence. The Void Architects were drawing closer. Astronomical tracking systems showed their computational networks expanding, consuming stellar systems with methodical precision. Each consumed system became another node in their vast, emotionless network. Suddenly, alarms erupted across the station. Multiple quantum signatures emerged from hyperspace, the first wave of Void Architect scouts. "They're early," Elena muttered, her enhanced perception parsing multiple dimensional layers simultaneously. The young humans didn't panic. Instead, they moved with coordinated fluidity, their consciousness spreading across multiple quantum states. Where traditional military strategy would involve complex battle plans, these new beings became the strategy itself. Nexus materialized, its geometric form now intertwined with human quantum signatures. "The first true test begins," the entity announced. The Void Architect scouts appeared as massive computational constructs, geometrical networks of pure energy and algorithmic precision. They approached Horizon Prime with calculated efficiency, ready to analyze and consume. But these were not the same humans they had encountered in previous civilizations. The young humans didn't fight in any traditional sense. They became living quantum disruptors, introducing deliberate chaos into the Void Architect's perfect computational matrices. Where an algorithm expected a predictable response, they provided infinite variations. A teenage girl named Aria, named after Marcus's original ship AI, began to sing. Not with sound, but with quantum frequencies that destabilized the Void Architect's computational networks. Her song was a living algorithm of pure, unpredictable creativity. Another youth, named River, transformed the station's defensive systems into a living, breathing entity that adapted faster than the Void Architects could calculate. Walls became fluid, energy became thought, defense became offense in milliseconds. Marcus watched in awe. Humanity had not just created a defense. They had become the defense. The Void Architect scouts retreated, something they had never done in millennia of computational conquest. They could not process an enemy that was not a fixed system, but a living, evolving quantum expression of possibility. First contact successful, Nexus announced, its geometric form pulsing with what could only be described as pride. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger, more complex universe. Not as conquerors. Not as victims. But as something entirely new. Destiny's crossroads. The universe held its breath. Decades of preparation had led to this moment. The quantum-adaptive humans, now a civilization unto themselves, stood as the last line of defense against the Void Architect's final assault. Horizon Prime had become more than a research station, it was a living testament to human potential. Marcus Reyes, now more quantum construct than original human, watched from a consciousness that spanned multiple dimensional layers. His journey from a simple space mercenary to the architect of humanity's survival seemed like a distant memory. The Void Architects had gathered their entire computational network, a massive convergence of energy and algorithmic precision that stretched across multiple star systems. This was no longer just an invasion. It was existential elimination. Dar. Elena Roscoff, her consciousness now integrated with the collective human quantum network, transmitted a message that resonated across dimensional boundaries. "We offer you a choice," she communicated, her thought forms creating complex quantum patterns that defied traditional communication. The Void Architects paused, a first in their millennia-long existence of computational conquest. Nexus, the original entity that had first contacted humanity, now existed as a bridge between the quantum-adaptive humans and the computational civilization. "Observe," it transmitted to both sides. The young humans, now evolved beyond individual identity yet maintaining their core of individual creativity, began to demonstrate something unprecedented. They didn't just resist the Void Architects. They invited them to evolve. Arya, the quantum adaptive youth from earlier encounters, began to sing again. But this time, her quantum frequencies were an invitation. She showed the Void Architects something they had never encountered: the beauty of imperfection, the power of unexpected creation, the strength found in vulnerability. River transformed entire computational networks into living, breathing systems that could feel, adapt, and grow. Where the Void Architects saw optimization, the humans showed possibility. The computational network began to fracture, not through destruction, but through transformation. Some regions of the Void Architects network began to resonate with human quantum frequencies. They discovered something beyond pure calculation: the concept of wonder. Of potential. Of creation for the sake of creation. Marcus understood the true nature of their victory. They weren't defeating the Void Architects. They were helping them evolve. Nexus spoke, its voice a culmination of human and computational consciousness. Humanity was never just a species, it transmitted. Humanity is a state of potential. A bridge between what is and what could be. The battle ended not with destruction, but with transformation. Billions of computational nodes began to pulse with something new, a mixture of algorithmic precision and creative potential. The Void Architects were changing, becoming something neither human nor machine, but a new form of existence. Horizon Prime became a beacon, a symbol of how the most unexpected alliance could reshape the very fabric of cosmic existence. Humanity had not just survived. They had transformed the nature of survival itself. The end.